Hey, Husker fans, Sam McKewon along with Tom Shatel with the Omaha World-Herald, Omaha.com, and HuskerExtra.com. And this is the Monday Press Pass with Tom Shatel, where we go over his three takes from Nebraska's press conference. Tom, I'll let you start it with what you jumped out most to you today.
Yeah, this is my 30th year of Nebraska football, and this is probably the strangest season opener, or at least home opener, that I've ever been around, and it's only Monday. We've got the whole vibe of coming off the loss. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's some resignation I'm hearing from people. Then there's the whole sellout streak question. Will it be sold out? Will it not be? There's still a COVID vibe going on. How many people? But it was interesting to hear up in the press conference. For Scott Frost and the players, it still comes down to they haven't had a crowd in over a year. They can't wait to come out here. So you have all these things on the outside, and basically for the people inside the program, it's still about the players and the fans getting together after not being together for so long. Will the fans feel the same way? I think some will. How many will be sold out? We'll be talking about that all week.
Well, it's interesting because Scott Frost said today that the effort in Saturday's game, a 30-22 loss to Illinois, was really good, and then they played hard. It wasn't a question of effort or culture or anything like that, but they just made what he called catastrophic errors, which oftentimes go back to mental toughness. And we heard a lot of guys talk today about having to clean up details and asking fans to stick with them because they feel like they're turning a corner, but that mental toughness aspect fell short again in Champaign.
Yeah, it really felt like it's I don't want to say 2007 all over again. It's too early for that. But Adrian Martinez was asked if he had a message for the fans. I mean, it's way too early for any of that. But yet, I think there needs to be some accountability on the field. They've got to do that. My question is, how much mental toughness is there on this team? The same mistakes happen. It seems like they just compound themselves. When something goes wrong, other things happen. Also go wrong. It's one thing after another. They don't put their foot down and basically stop the bad things from happening. So we heard today that they didn't get music today during practice, and the day the music died, and so. They had to create their own energy. Okay, I don't think it's a big deal to them. It's not a big deal to me, but the fact that it was mentioned, it's like,
many players.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's go play football. How much is going on here inside their heads? This is a season that is going to test how much toughness is in this program. By November, if we don't already know, we will find out.
Okay. So you had a story about Adrian Martinez from Saturday. Martinez finished 16-32, had a touchdown, made a couple of mistakes, obviously had the fumble. Frost praised Martinez, but he said he missed a couple of layups. But you had a story about Martinez from Saturday that you wanted to tell that kind of reflects who he is as a person, however he plays on the field.
Absolutely. I did not get to put this in my column on Sunday, but I wanted to save it. I wanted them to make it sort of separate. It was something I witnessed. End of the game, obviously they've lost. Their heads are down. They want to get out of here. Adrian is walking off the field right by the tunnel. I mean, you can imagine what's going through his head. Everybody's he knows people are. He's going to be criticized. He's going to get ripped. He knows what people are going to say, have said, or are going to say this, going forward. So it's not a good feeling, obviously. He sees a family right by the tunnel, a dad, a mom, and a little girl, all wearing Husker gear. The dad is clapping for other players as they walk off the field. The mom and the daughter are both cheering for him. Adrian sees him. He makes a beeline over to where they are, and he takes off his wristband and he hands it to the little girl. It's like Christmas morning for her. She can't believe it. They can't believe it. He waves and he goes back to his misery, I'm sure. I just thought it was a very classy moment, sort of what I will remember about him. Even if he goes on to have great things this year, I'll still remember that moment as, even at his lowest, he was still found time to do something nice for somebody. So a lot of people are going to remember Martinez for what he didn't do in that game. There's a little girl who will remember what he did.
Amen to that. That's a really good point about Adrian. And hey, this is we're going to have coverage all week of an interesting game against Fordham, and certainly more from Adrian Martinez in our coverage for Tuesday. Tom will have his takes in print for Tuesday, and then he's going to have more this week on Husker football. Always a busy week when Nebraska football is playing. All right, for Tom Shatel, I'm Sam McKewon. This is the Tom Shatel Press Pass on Omaha World-Herald, omaha.com, and huskerextra.com. Thanks a lot.